I don't know how many people are from Baltimore. All right, how many people were here in 2011? I put a toilet in front of the Towson courthouse representing racism in your courts, talking about the disparity like you got in Baltimore County and Baltimore City, being black in Baltimore City. I really was going after Dred Scott. You know what I'm saying? We've been in America for 400 years, and as black people, we treated as property. You know what I'm saying? We traded the penitentiary for the plantation, cotton for cocaine, and we still a cash crop. So my son was killed in Chicago in 2006. And the best way for me to honor my son was through art. So I chose a toilet because I was feeling depressed. And then I seen a toilet sitting on the side of the road. And like most of you artists use frames and things for your tapestry. This is my tapestry. So it goes like this. It goes, Jesus had a cross, Martin had a dream, Malcolm got a gun, Shorty got a toilet, but we all had art to deal with. All right? This is interactive art because women and men look at toilets differently. Lid up, lid down. You know what I'm saying? But in this toilet, everybody can identify with it. You feel me? It's a common denominator. All right? So I use it, and I got little props. We talk about race and racism. Donald Trump ain't the problem. You know what I'm saying? We had race before Donald Trump came here. He was just the one that put a fire under the flame. He's the one that put the fire under the flame. I'm 60 years old. In 1965, I couldn't be in the same room with you. You know what I'm saying? When I was in 1965, I was in kindergarten. I couldn't pull on her hair, because if I pulled on her hair, they beat me. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a childish thing. See, kids don't care about race. Kids don't care about color. They don't only care about being kids. So through the eyes of a child, that's why I picked the toilet. We call it potty training politicians, because when you train your kids to come up in a positive manner. But our politicians have turned this world into a way that our kids aren't surviving. My biggest fear, this ain't my son. This ain't no relations to me. I mentor him. But a black man or a black woman's biggest fear is their child coming home at night. That's our biggest fear. We traded lynching for police brutality. And these are the victims of it. No matter how positive I am, if I say the wrong thing, I could be dead. I don't have to do anything but be black in America. So that's why I picked the toilet, because we all got it to deal with. And this is a way to confront it. I put these toilets in social places, in public places, and it's just not racism. It's homelessness, it's mass incarceration, it's the water bill. It's the issues that affect us as a people in the community, because a toilet don't care. You feel me? It's a common denominator. You feel me? So if we all use the toilet, then we all understand. So if we all use the toilet, then we all need to find a solution to the problems that we have. We just can't keep blaming Donald Trump. We got racists in the Democratic Party just like you got racists in the Republican Party. But if we don't start addressing racism, we're going to keep continuing the cycle that we've been doing for the last 400 years. This ain't my fight, this our struggle. So that's my critique. And if you look at the toilet, it's got me on it. It shows me carrying the toilet. I made my kids carry this toilet. When I punish my kids, instead of beating them, I make them carry the toilet in a public place. You feel me? We took it to Washington, D.C. We went to New York City. We went to Chicago. We went to Philadelphia. You feel me? Wherever you got a high density of blacks and Hispanics, that's why I took the toilet, because that's where we got the deepest shit. Excuse me, but that's just the way it is. Now, you can Google it. I'm famous for it. They locked me up and tried to give me 20 years for this. They charged me with terrorism. You feel me? Terrorism, because I chose art. Back in the 50s, in the 60s, we used to march, but Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, other people use art for their activism. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention, and they pay attention to dumb. You know what I'm saying? If I put this anywhere, you're going to pay attention to it, and you're going to look at it. You feel me? Anybody remember the movie The Jerk? Steve Martin and The Jerk? He had a toilet and a dog. Remember the toilet? I am not doing nothing no different than Steve Martin. I'm just a living jerk. So critique me, please.
It's incredibly powerful, and I think that art with politics is absolutely essential. Clearly, it started as an outlet and a way to express your feelings, and it's also a way to engage people to be a part of it. Because some of us didn't get to grow up like that, and we wouldn't know what it's like, but we do see what's happening. And until people who are raised to understand that what is happening in society isn't okay, that our common denominator does not actually change other people's solution until we change the community, then it doesn't change. And I think it's impressive that you also include your kids to be able to be a part of this. And it's a living piece of art. It's usable, it's interactive. And people always come home from a living, interactive piece of artwork, and they're more present with it. And it sticks with it. And you know what? It should be vulgar and it should be aggressive. And if it's not, then somebody's gonna go home and think about it.
You can't go home and not think about that?
Absolutely not. When I walked past it, it was one of the first things I thought about, because it's in your face, and it should be. When has it not been? Everyone else has to have their statement, and if you can't start focusing on it, then where are we? And I love the fact that you have certain pieces of this that people don't think about being not helpful in our community necessarily.
If you look at like you look at Baltimore, everybody been in Baltimore. I've been here, I came here straight out of the penitentiary on the Interstate Compact in 1991. In 1986, I turned in guns and drugs to the police at the police station to end the war on drugs. You feel me? We can't talk about a ceasefire in America if we're not gonna talk about the war on drugs. You feel me? We can't talk about opioid treatments if we ain't gonna talk about the war on drugs. You feel me? If we don't address the war on drugs, then what are we really doing? Because giving opioid treatment and still incarcerating the black community is not America. That's segregation. You feel me? So this is my part about America. When I use John Hopkins, when I use these different individuals, it's what they're supposed to be doing for us. You feel me? So I had to bring them all together on the same toilet. You feel me? And then when I started doing this, a joke ain't never funny when you the blunt of the joke. You feel me? If I put Donald Trump's face on the toilet, everybody gonna talk about Donald Trump. But what if I put Governor O'Malley's face on the toilet? What if I put the chief of police on the toilet? What if I put me on the toilet? You feel me? We gotta deal with this if we like it or not. That's why I got a mirror in here. You feel me? You got a mirror in here, interactive. You feel me? What are you doing to change America? What are you doing to make America great? What are we doing to make America great? You feel me? This is my part. This ain't my fight, this is our struggle. Thank y'all for coming. And if you ever, the protests that been held in Baltimore, I'm the one that do them. If you ever heard this, and this is gonna scare y'all, all right? Listen, mic check! I do that and it scares the bejeebies out of people. That's how I get people's attention. When they had Occupy Baltimore, I went down there with Occupy Baltimore because that gave white people the right to protest. That gave white privilege in Baltimore because black people couldn't have held that space for that long. You'd have took us up out of there. You wouldn't have let black people occupy McKeldin Square that long. So I joined in and used that white privilege and I introduced my black toilet. This is how you do what you do. We need each other to make this work. You feel me? And ironic it is, my birth certificate says that I'm white. You can check my birth certificate, it says I'm white. So if you do the Obama birther thing, what you gonna do about me? You feel me? My mother was light-skinned and she passed, you know what I'm saying? But if I couldn't use your toilets and I couldn't use your water fountains, I couldn't use your hospitals. So they had to put white on my birth certificate and they kicked my mother out the hospital. You feel me? And I never changed it because I like to use my white privilege.
Well, in the interest of time, we're gonna move on, but thank you so much for this today.
Thank you.